going to talk today about fiancé visas or green card for a spouse, or what is the best option for your loved one to get them here or to keep them in the United States. Generally speaking, for those who are abroad and want to bring them here. So as usual, it's Monday, so awesome sauce. Let's see. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So if I look here, it's TikTok. If I look there, it's Facebook and YouTube. So let me know your questions, put them in the chat. And if you have very specific questions, do not give me questions like, I'm in Dubai and I need to come to the US, because that's not specific enough and I really cannot help you, okay? So let's go and discuss. I have a couple of questions. Let's go over that while we wait for a few more people to show up. And then I'll go over fiancé visas or applying for a green card for your spouse. So, any news on the 601A? No news, nothing's moving. 601As, I just attended the conference for immigration lawyers this past Thursday and Friday. It was very intensive. There were a lot of updates. There really have not been any applications of 601As since 2019. So we are looking at least 3.5 to 4 years wait for that, if not longer. You might want to discuss, if you already applied for a 601A, please reach out to your immigration attorney, talk to them, see if you have other options. You really want to look at other options because you might be stuck there for a long time. If I get selected in the diversity visa lottery, but my birth date is wrong, what happens? Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. It really depends. Generally speaking, if it's just a little typo like that, if it's a real typo, or what we see more common than not, for example, in the US, we put month and date, and outside the rest of the world puts date and month. For example, February 3rd in most other countries would be 3-2 here, okay? Would not be 2-3. So if that's the case, when you get through, if you were selected and you have to go through that, then what you want to do is disclose all that information on your visa application, provide all the documentation. And honestly, at that point, it really is up to the officer if you can convince them that it was a true, honest mistake and not a misrepresentation of your part. They can still approve it. All right. I had a 485 marriage-based interview on March 2022 with no decision yet. What can I do? Jose, let me know if you had an attorney that represented you at the interview, that you went with an attorney to the interview. Give me a little bit more information about your marriage situation. Are you still married? Are you still together? Was that your first or your second interview? Give us a lot more information on that, okay? So I can advise you. Also, I need to know your location. I don't need to know exact city, but the location where your interview was, okay? It really depends on a lot of factors. If you already had your interview, generally speaking, the government is to make a decision on your case. If they have not, or they are waiting to send you a request for evidence, or they sent it and you didn't respond. You want somebody to look into this. And if not, you might have to sue the federal government to make a decision. Let's hope that helps you. On Salim, let's see, EB5 or marry my American girlfriend because I'm planning on moving to the US. I already raised the money. Marry your girlfriend, way faster, way easier, way quicker. If you don't already have a visa to the United States, your fiancé should contact us so we can get started either on a fiancé visa or a green card if she's going there to marry you. Depending on your country and a bunch of other things, one could be faster than other, Okay. So since we are talking today about fiancé visas or green cards, oh, let's see, we have a few more questions. The date is totally different, ma'am. I'm sorry, doing silly mistake. Go with the truth, and if they deny it, they deny it. I had attorney, it was second interview. Officer said he would review and let you know in a couple of weeks. Okay, that was your second interview. There were red flags. They are probably assuming marriage fraud. They probably sent Homeland Security Investigations Fraud Detection Unit to interview your neighbors, your employers, your girlfriends, I mean, your wives, and see what the story is there, okay? You might want to contact an experienced immigration attorney. You might want to contact somebody else if you already had an attorney. Let me tell you why. And this is very common in marriage-based cases, okay? If your current lawyer, your current attorney represents both you and your spouse, and there is something going on in the marriage where perhaps you're separating, or you're thinking of separating, or your spouse is thinking of separating. If you are going through those things, you cannot bring that to your current lawyer, because the current lawyer obligation is to address both of your concerns and to make sure that all parties are involved, okay? And in order to do that, they cannot advise you or give you the proper advice that may be not in the best interest of your spouse. If something is not going exactly the way it should be, and you and your spouse are no longer on the same page, or you're not having the same goals, or you're thinking of being separated, okay, divorced, whatever that is, depending on your state, you should seek the help of your own immigration attorney, separate and apart from the lawyer who's currently handling your case. The current lawyer actually has an ethical conflict, and they cannot give you proper advice on that, okay? So you're putting them in a position to where they're going to have to not give you advice at all. So don't do that. All right, so let's see. So you had an attorney, second interview, you know what you need to do, get another attorney, and they can help you, okay? If you want to contact us, we can. We are experienced immigration attorneys. We help people everywhere make the United States their permanent home. It doesn't matter where you are located in the United States or abroad, we can help you. How can an immigrant get travel documents without being married? Well, depends on your definition of immigrant. For immigration purposes, being an immigrant is one thing, basically means you already are applying for, or you already have permanent residency. So immigrant is immigrant intent, applying for residency. If you are just an immigrant, someone who's not from outside the United States, you're not considered an immigrant. So you're talking about travel documents. I assume you want to know how to get to the United States if you are not married. That is a very, very general question. Okay, and you want to talk to an experienced immigration attorney to give you all the options based on your particular situation. My cousins got there through K2 visa, but their mother died due to cancer. Okay, it depends. OC, I have an interview coming in March for 751 as divorce. Do I need a lawyer to represent me? Yes. Most 751s applications, those are, for those of you who do not know, those are removal of conditions. That means at the time your green card was granted, you were married for less than 2 years. So because of that, the government is testing your marriage, and they are waiving the joint filing requirement if you are still married and living together. If you're still married and living together, you have to file jointly. And if you're not filing jointly, you ask for a waiver of the joint filing requirement, and you have to be already divorced in order to do that. So when you do that, the standard is a little bit higher. You have to show that at the time you entered into the marriage, you intended to enter into a good faith marriage. You intended to form a life together and be together. I strongly suggest you have an attorney go with you to the 751 interview every single time that it's not a joint filing, okay? I've been a resident for over 4 years. When can I apply for citizenship? It depends, depending on how you got your residency, okay? Depends on what category, okay? Depends on, did you get it based on marriage? Did you get it based on VAWA? How did you get your residency? Normally, it's 4 years, 9 months, and 1 day when you can apply for citizenship. There are exceptions when you can apply after 3 years, basically 2 years, 9 months, and 1 day. Jose, I'm still married and living with my wife, and the interview was in the Seattle office. If you are still married and living with your wife, if there are no fraud indicators in your case, you want to talk to your immigration attorney. You're still married and living with your wife, so I don't see an issue. And have the attorney contact immigration. Yeah, it's ridiculous, the process. And then they have to wait 60 days for a response. Then they have to do another inquiry. Then they have to wait another 60 days. So start it now because it's been a long time. Or if you want to sue the government, you can sue the government to make a decision. Now, the government making a decision does not mean an approval in your case. It could mean an approval, it could mean a denial, it could be a request for evidence, it could mean a million other things, okay? But at least they'll make a decision, they'll let you know what's going on. Depending on your prior immigration history, sometimes it's actually better if they just make a decision already, so you can end up before an immigration judge and take your chances there. I don't know enough about your case to give you the proper advice on that. You have a lawyer, talk to them, okay? Will they have problem removing conditions on their green card since their mother died? Maybe, maybe not. In most cases, if they entered on T2, removing conditions, they already have conditional residency. That means they can still get the conditions removed even if their mother died, but it depends all on the timeline, okay? It depends on the timeline of the events. Meeting, marriage, filing for the visa, granting of the visa, when did they enter, when did they apply, how, the whole process, and then the timeliness of the death. And sometimes if they don't do it fast enough to apply after the death of their mother, they might have a problem and they might not be able to do it later on, okay? So you need to do it as soon as possible. Destiny. I filed for my fiance in June 17. They still not called him. Destiny, tell me more about what did you exactly file for your fiance? Did you just file the I-129F? What exactly did you do and where exactly is it pending? Everything with USCIS right now, it's going to take a long time, okay? So let's see. If you already had the I-129F approved and you are stuck at the National Visa Center, that it's just a matter of booking the appointment. And that has nothing to do with your case. It's about the consulate not having enough staff to give enough appointments, okay? I have consulates where they only move 3 appointments per month. And I have other consulates when they are moving over 300. It really depends on your local consulate. Not much you can do, though. You can expedite depending on your situation, but not always. UK citizen, can she get a passport if we are married for 3 years and live in the UK for 2? I don't have enough information for that. After your work permit through AOS, do you need to apply for Social Security number or you get it automatically? Oh boy, that's a loaded question. So let's go over that, okay? It depends on when you applied for your adjustment of status. If you applied at the same time for the work permit, depending on what the form was at the time you applied, if you selected the box that says, yes, send me a Social Security number, after the work permit, theoretically, within 2 months, you should have the Social Security number. What we have seen, though, is 50% of the cases, no joke, don't get the Social Security number after, or the administration actually sends them, but they don't send them to the right address, or they send them without an apartment number or a suite number. They get returned to the Social Security Administration. If you already have your work permit for longer than about, say, 4 to 6 weeks, I would make an appointment to the Social Security office, go and apply and get your work permit, okay? How long is the K-1 process? The K-1 process, Lori, depends on where exactly are you in the process and from which country. The I-129F, which is the first form right now, let me see actually, how much is it? How long is that? Oh, there's. So I was just responding to the other person a minute ago. Even after they approved the petition, you could be stuck at the National Visa Center for months and months, and case stuck there for about a year and a half. And sometimes it's nothing you can do about it. In most cases, actually, it's nothing you can do about it, but wait. So let's see, okay? I'll tell you. So they say that the initial application for the I-129F, the processing time, it's about 16 months. So that's for the first petition. Then it gets to the National Visa Center, and then it keeps going on. Okay. OC, I already responded to your question. You have an interview coming up. You need, as divorced, you need a lawyer. Yes, you do. Lori, I responded to yours. I'm an atheist. Can I get asylum in the US? I belong to Islamic country where I may get persecuted. Yes, you can. You just have to be in the United States in order to apply for asylum. I am MAAME. I already responded to your question. Yes, you need to apply for social. If it's been 4 to 6 weeks and you haven't, then yes. I'm about to do my adjustment of status. What the doctor needs from me, docs, and what vaccines. You need to talk to the doctor about that. You definitely need to be vaccinated against the usual vaccines that children get, measles, mumps, rubella. You also need, right now, you need to get the COVID vaccine, okay? So you need to have those. And they will, if you have your vaccination record, take the vaccination record with you to the doctor. My husband wanted to do citizenship, but he denied because he cannot read and write. If he cannot read and write simply because he is, let's say, not educated enough to do that, perhaps he can take some classes to complete his GED just so he can read and write. Reading and writing, when they test it, is really basic reading and writing in English. However, if he cannot do that, he cannot study, he may be elderly, or he has a medical condition that prevents him from being able to study, then with a form, a specific agreement from the doctor, a specific form, he can ask for a waiver of the reading and writing requirement, okay? I entered with B1, B2 with my family. I apply for asylum, so my children visit India, our country. If you are applying for asylum, do not, under any circumstance, visit your home country. Basically, you're telling the government that I lied on my application, that I'm going to be persecuted, or I had past persecution, but I'm going to go visit because it's not that bad. Don't do that. My father is out of the country. Does he need to stay in his own country during his process for green card? It depends on the process. It depends on the process, Sandy. There are the process of getting a green card in the United States. It's called adjustment of status. If he is already in the United States, he applies for adjustment of status. If he's outside the United States, it's a consular processing. The consular processing part for those people who are outside the United States involves a few steps with different government agencies. Whether he can travel in and out of the United States during this time, it really depends on where exactly he is in the process. Now, he can go any other place in the world. He just cannot travel to the United States during the period of time that he already applied for his visa application and waiting for his interview. Okay? He can be anywhere else in the world. Oh, Jaina, my friend SIJ was denied. He filed motion on appeal, and that was approved, and it's still more than 60 days. I know it takes a long time, and sometimes it could take up to 2 years. You have to stay on top of the government, your friend. They need to stay on top of the government to make sure they take the next steps. USCIS is under no rush to take the next steps on their case. So it's up to them to keep sending letters and letters and letters to make them move. Nancy, I'm about to send my AOS. What doctor? I already responded to that with the vaccines. Ask the doctor. The doctor will tell you exactly what documents and what vaccines you need. And haven't received anything. What is the next process? If you already have an approval of the motion, you just need to keep contacting USCIS every 2 months or so to get them to do something. Married for 3 years now. Great. Should I apply for 10 years green card visa or citizenship after waiving the 2 years green card? Let me see if I can understand your question. You've been married for 2 years. Okay. Do you already have a 2-year green card? Okay, if you already have a 2-year green card and you are already in the process of applying for the 10-year green card or the removal of conditions, then you can apply for citizenship about a year after that. You can apply for citizenship if you did not file for the removal of conditions. If you have a 2-year green card, you do not have it. You must apply for the removal of conditions. You don't apply directly for citizenship. However, if the green card at the time you got it, it's a 10-year green card, then you can apply for citizenship. Okay, but based on your questions, I'm assuming you don't have the 10-year green card yet. So Mohammed, okay, my brother came with B1. He's here since 2010. How can he have a green card? Book a consult with an immigration attorney. There are still some options for him. It really depends on how he entered the country, which you said it's B1, thank God. And then does he have any immigration history? Has he been placed in removal? What's his marital history, education history, and so what? You're not going to get those answers on a live or just looking up online. You need a consultation. Doesn't have to be me, guys. You don't have to call me, okay? It's fine. I'd like for you guys to call me and book a consultation, but if you don't, you don't. That's okay. This is my free service to you guys. I'm telling you what to do. But when I tell you book a consultations, please do. Okay? Doesn't have to be me. I'm British. I want my girlfriend to claim UK passport, so I'm in no rush. Okay. I do not know anything about UK citizenship, so I cannot advise you on that. I only do US law. Can I apply for marriage-based green card, being married for 2 years and have a legal entry? Yes. If you've been married for 2 years, why haven't you applied until now? So some red flags over there. I want to know why not. Farid, I already answered your question. Yes, you can apply for asylum, but you have to be in the United States in order to apply for asylum. If you are applying for based on persecution in your country, you're not if you're still outside the United States, the process is a refugee process. It is not an asylum process. Asylum, you can only apply from within the states. Okay, I have EAD and my EB3 visa is processing. How can I apply to my husband while my 485 is processing? Was your husband included in your EB3? Are you in the United States and he's not? She, your husband, so I'm assuming it's he. How can I apply for my husband? It really depends on exactly where you are in the process. Give us a call and we can try to walk you through that, okay? Book a consult. If you have an EB3 visa already pending, you already have a lawyer, you might want to talk to your lawyer. Okay, I filed for my fiance in the form, but now I filed for him. I don't know. I didn't see the rest of your message. Ray, I already responded to you. Guys, there is no reason to put the same question 10 times. I get to all of you. Okay. Farid, but I've been here since 10 years. Okay. If you have been here in the United States for 10 years, you can apply as an atheist, but you have to show the government that you have not applied in the first year because for whatever the reason is. And then you have to show that the situations have changed so drastically in your country that in the first 10 years, that was not an issue. But if you were to go back now, it would be an issue. And that's a very, very high burden. If you have been here and you still don't have papers 10 years into it, you might want to look at other options. Asylum is not your option. Okay. Yes. If you already filed a fiance, Destiny, perfect question. Now I see the whole thing. If already I filed for my fiance for his fiance visa, can I still file for him in the Biden parole? Yes, you can. Depending on the country, I don't know where he is. You might get that way faster. Okay. Yes, you can do that. Remember, once he is here on parole, you may or may not be able to get for him to get the green card after you guys get married. He might actually have to go back to the country to get it. And the parole under Biden is only one entry. I applied for my mom. Oh, Aisha. I applied for my mom 3 years this April. They documentarily complete the case since August 2021. Fantastic. Fantastic. So that's good. Let's hope that they are going to get them to move further. Okay. I'm assuming you are a US citizen, so then it's an immediate relative. There is no wait time for the visa. So we need to see why it's still pending 3 years later. Okay. Is this in India? Is this in the Philippines? Let me know exactly where it is. And you might want to get in touch with an immigration attorney to see if it's something you can do to move it. Okay. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it is not. Do we need proof of relationship when applying for a sibling? Yeah, absolutely. You need to show that they are your sibling. You need to show they are your brother, your sister. So your birth certificate, their birth certificate, you need to show that the parents are the same, or at least one parent is the same. Okay. Let's see. What's usually the nature of the content of a letter sent to the humanitarian division of the VSC? It depends on the type of application. Okay. When you're asking for this, that tells me you already know how to do your own research. You probably have that already ready. Okay. All right, let's see. Is 485 the only document needed for adjustment of status if I'm married to a citizen and legal entry? Not even close. Not even close. First, 485, it's not a document. 485, it's a form. Okay. The biggest mistake by far done by all immigrants or people who are applying for an immigration benefit in the United States is they think it's about filling out the form, paying a fee, and sending it to the government. 100% of those get denied. Okay. That is not how you will get papers in the United States. 485, it's basically a checklist for the government. You need to show you are eligible. You need to show how you entered the country, that you are married, the divorces are final, you married in good faith. And in addition to the 485, there are at least 4 forms off the top of my head that you need to file along with that. So no, it's not the only thing that you need to file. Spouse of US citizen waiting on my husband's visa appointment, NVC approved on November 2022. So when you say NVC November 2022 NVC approved, do you mean to say that it's documentarily qualified? If it's documentarily qualified, at this point, not much you can do except wait. You want to see what the processing times in general are for your consulate. And there are so many lists out there that will tell you basically a general idea on how long this would take in your particular consulate. I was telling some people earlier today that it really depends on, some consulates have 3 appointments available, some of them have 300 a month. Okay, it really depends. And it depends on staffing, holidays, the number of applications they have. It depends on so many different things. Okay, and just because they have 3 appointments available this month doesn't mean they're not going to have 300 the following. And by the way, 3 and 300 are just general numbers, so you have an idea. Okay, you have DACA too. Fantastic. So if you are on DACA, we need to look at how you entered the country. I can't remember everybody's fact pattern from before. If you're filing a petition case, do you have to be vaccinated? If you are the one filing the petition, that means you are the US citizen or the permanent resident who's sponsoring someone abroad, then no, nobody's going to look at yours. If you are the prospective immigrant, then yes, you have to be vaccinated. The counselor asked me to go and get the marriage certificate, biological mother of my children. Okay, I don't know enough about your case to tell you what you need to do. Okay, is the biological mother of your children also your wife? Is she not? Was she your wife at the time the children were born? Is she married to somebody else? This doesn't tell me a lot. Okay. How to book a consultation, Bob, the link is in our website, or you can call our number is 954-231-4840. That's 954-231-4840. Follow the link on TikTok on my bio and you see it. Let's see. Can I travel with a 2-year extension stamp in my passport while the green card renewal is in process? Yes, as long as you don't have a removal order, as long as you are not in active removal proceedings, and if you didn't commit a crime or you don't otherwise have inadmissibility issues back to the United States. So theoretically, yes. Plain, clean case, vanilla, you can travel. Can my friend who lives in the US fund my visiting to US? Yes. Is it hard to get advance parole when you file I-131 concurrently with 485? You need to know the reasons for it. Is it hard? No, but it takes forever. You married for 4 years, you have interview and they ask you for evidence, you send them everything. Yeah, if they are asking for more, that means you didn't send them everything, or they are questioning your marriage. Just because you have been married for 4 years, the longer you've been married, the more documents they want. They want to see that in this 4 years, you made financial decisions together. You're financially responsible together for utilities, bank payments, credit card payments, kids' schools, etc., etc. You're on each other's health insurance. You're on each other's life insurance, okay? So you need to make sure that you have those documents. I was waiting for advance parole for legal entry. Also didn't know if I could apply already. You need to book a consultation because your questions are getting into you have issues in your case arena, and I need to know what those issues are before I tell you anything, okay? I got my sister approved. Now her case is at NVC. She's sick. What's the best option for her? Here is the problem with people being sick and thinking just because they are sick, they should come here faster. If that is the case, you are asking the government basically to expedite the case because my sister is sick. Here is the problem. If she is being sick, how sick is she? Is the government going to think that because she is sick, she is going to depend on taxpayers' money for her medical care? So you need to know when it's good to disclose that she's sick, when it's good to not disclose that she's sick, and maybe not expedite, okay? Can a Canadian citizen, move to the US and apply for work permit within the US while the fiancé is a US citizen? Depends on where you are in your fiancé visa process. You cannot apply for a work permit simply because your fiancé is a US citizen. You might have other options. You might want to consider I don't know. Talk to an immigration attorney. Okay. You can give us a call, 954-231-4840. It's in our link, it's in our bio. You might want to have your fiance and yourself attend that consultation and look at options. Okay. There is no way to just get a work permit within a US, even if you're married to your US citizen, unless you have other applications pending. Okay. So let's see what other questions we have because we are running out of time. I'm a US citizen. How long after I get married can we start to file for my husband to come to the US? The day after you got married. My husband's waiting for his immigration appointment, NVC approval on November 2022. Yes, it depends on the consulate. It could take way, way longer. For example, in Colombia, we have people waiting for almost 2 years at this point. Okay. Berlini, okay, they didn't send you anything to tell you what's happening. Nope, they don't tell you anything. My husband's waiting. I already addressed that. Okay. My I-130 was approved about 5 months ago. NVC claims they have not received anything from USCIS. We can help you with that. I was sent RFE to file 485 for my stepson abroad. 485, it's a problem. If your stepson is abroad, it's 485 is the wrong form. Guys, you need to stop doing this on your own, okay? Go see an immigration attorney. If your stepson is abroad, you are in the wrong process if you have a 485 pending. I applied for EB1C and fingerprint done September 2022. How can I call my wife? You cannot until you got your green card. You need to get your green card first, then you can petition for her. You don't need to wait to file for adjustment after marriage. The minute you are married, you can file for your spouse. Adjustment is not always the process. Okay. So you applied for full green card, I-130 485, May 2022. When can we expect green card in Fresno? Fresno's pretty slow right now. Anything in California is a little bit slow. So I can look. Let's see. So 18 months. So if you applied in May 2022, you got to wait until January of 2024, más o menos, okay, to see how long you need to wait, okay? US citizen, how long after I get married, I have to file? Immediately. You can file right away. I'm Canadian citizen currently living in Canada. Can I move to US to live with my wife without any visa? No. Is she a US citizen? Is she not a US citizen? Is she a Canadian citizen? You want to move here together? It's a lot more information that I need there. Is she your wife or she's your fiance? Because you gave me different information earlier. You cannot just move here. You need to do this the right way. Eduardo, I got married 2021. I'm American citizen. My wife came as an immigrant in 2011. We requested resident permanent. The moment we got no answers or anything. It depends on when you filed and depends on exactly where it is pending. It could be taking a long, long time. Give us a call. Let's see if we can do anything to sort it out for you or at least give you more ideas, okay? She doesn't have to have deportation for the case to be slow. Everything with immigration is very slow right now. Everything with immigration is very slow. Not much I can do about this, okay? In some cases we can. Most of the time it's a matter of waiting. Can I expedite my sister's case due to illness? I already responded to your question just here. It depends. Sometimes you can do it. Sometimes it's best if you do not. Is it safe to travel on advanced parole? Absolutely not. Sometimes you have to because you don't have a choice, but absolutely not safe. Can I travel while my citizen naturalization on file if I do biometric, I'm waiting on interview? Yes, you can travel. Okay. I do not know the processing time for asylum appeal before BIA. I'm a green card holder. Can I petition for my daughter inside the US? She's 16 years old. Very complicated question. This is not an easy answer. Give us a call. Yeah, see, Jada, really, I appreciate your answer. I hope you all have good luck. I hope so too. These people really want their loved ones here and they are doing the right thing, but it is what it is. Why don't they put the full middle name on the green card? They only put the middle initial. You're at least lucky you got the full name there, at least the, the first and the last name. There are some people who are not even getting that. There is a character limit. It's a character limit. So they are going to, depending on how long your name is, they are going to limit what information they put there. All right. For those of you that I didn't get to address your questions yet, I need to go because I have a few other appointments coming up. And I will try to address your questions on, if you send me the same message you sent right now to my message, I'll try to answer later on. If not, we're going to be live again on Wednesday. So let's try to address all of this on Wednesday. Okay, hope this was useful. We didn't go much into applying for a green card, but based on all the answers that I gave today, that gives you an idea of how to apply for this. And fiancé visa or marriage or applying in the US or abroad. And there are so many considerations, guys. There are so many considerations into how to do it the right way. And it really depends on your family history, marital history, immigration history, sometimes education history. Have you ever been removed? Have you not been removed? How you entered the country, how you didn't, for how long, the dates, everything matters. So these are very general questions that I have given you right now. If you want particular answers to your questions, you're not going to get them online. Give an immigration attorney a call, okay? Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.